Hello and welcome to this Bacpac video guide. This is one of a series of video guides designed to help you understand the system and use some of the key features within it. This video looks at creating a new client. So this feature allows you to create a profile for a new client and store their personal information. You can then add a case and session information to the registration and keep up to date with the client's progress. Before entering a new client onto the Bacpac system, you may wish to check that they are not already registered. By clicking on Find Patients to the left-hand side of the screen, you can enter certain details to ensure that you will not be duplicating a registration. And these details can be typed into the first name, last name, local ID, and date of birth box. Details of how to use the Find Patients in more detail are available as a guide within the Help section of Bacpac. Having established that the client does not already exist, to create the registration, you need to click the Add a New Patient button at the top right-hand side of the screen. At this point, you will be presented with the Client Details screen. This contains various fields for you to complete. Any fields with a blue asterisk by the side is a mandatory field, so it must be completed. Any other fields are therefore optional. Some fields are simple text fields, so you can enter relevant details, but a lot of the fields provide drop-down choices for you to select from. So let's fill in some details for a new client. The first field is a text field where you can just type in details, and that's the local ID field here. The local ID field is where a previously allocated ID number for a patient can be entered. The title field is one of the drop-downs where you can choose from the list, and you can select a title for your patient. And the next 5 fields are all simple text fields, 2 of which are mandatory, first name and last name, and the others are optional, as indicated. So any optional fields, you can decide whether to include the information or not. Gender is a field where you can just click on the relevant option from the 4 options provided here. And the date of birth fields are drop-downs. So when you click on them, you can scroll and select. Same with the month. And the year field contains options back to 1901. The patient history box is for entering text, which can be formatted as required. But a word of warning with this box here: we don't advise that you copy and paste from a Word document into this area, as not all the formatting features in Word are available here, which affects the contents you are copying. Alternatively, if you do want to use a copy and paste feature, if you copy from your Word document into Notepad, and then from Notepad into this box, that will strip the background formatting, and you won't have any issues saving the form at the end. So within this patient history box, you've got all these options here to bold, italicize, underline your text, and some other formatting options to the right-hand side. The limit for the amount of text you can enter here is just under 10,000 characters, and scroll bars appear once you've entered enough text to fill the box. And if I just show you what happens there, as you can see, you've got scroll bars appearing on the right-hand side. Allows you to easily navigate the text that you've input. Moving on to the contact details section. This section has only one mandatory field. However, the other fields are very useful to go through as well. So you've got email address of patient and whether they have allowed to be sent email reminders. So within Bacpac, it's possible to arrange for email reminders to be sent out to your clients 24 hours prior to their appointment. For this to happen, you'll need a valid email address entered in the email box here, and you'll also have to have the Allow Reminders box ticked. As part of this feature, you can tailor the email that you would like to send, and this is covered by the Help feature, Email Appointment Reminder. So please visit that section of the Help site for more information. When completing the address box, much like the box that we've just seen, scroll bars will appear if required. We then have the postcode box, which is self-explanatory, and various telephone boxes. The fields for recording various telephone options are here, these 3 fields, and also a Skype username. And you've got the option for all of these 4 fields to leave a message on each of the phones or the Skype. Finally, there's a drop-down option here for how the patient would prefer to be contacted. Under the miscellaneous section, you can choose to enter how the client heard about your practice. Again, you've got lots of drop-down options here from this menu. The practicing GP section provides the opportunity to record the client's GP surgery name and doctor. When you have NHS England selected, as is selected here, this allows you to search for the GP details by entering part of the surgery name under this search bar here. So if I just start typing in surgery, click on the surgery that I'm after. Once you've selected a surgery, it will pull through the GPs that are associated with that surgery, and this GP box will now be populated with the GPs that are at that practice. So you can select the doctor of the patient. Next of kin. This is where name, contact details, and relationship with the client can be entered. And these sections here are expandable. All of the fields are optional, so completely up to you whether you want to fill these in. Demographics allows you to enter the nationality, ethnicity, religion, employment status, relationship status, and sexual orientation of the client. Again, all these fields are optional in this section. The final section here, for service use, is where you can record the NHS number for the client. Once all the details for the registration have been entered, you just simply click on the Save button at the bottom. And I'm just going to get rid of one of the mandatory fields so I can show you what happens if I try and save having not filled one of those in. And it's not saved, and if I scroll up, you can see this value is required and it can't be empty. So let's type in Minnie again, scroll back down to the bottom, click Save, and we can see that our patient has been now added to Bacpac. Now when you view the patient, you'll see a bar across the top of the screen that contains their name. It also contains their local ID if you've entered that, and that appears in the bar as well. Below this are 3 tabs. We've got Summary, Details, and Billing, and we'll just go through those briefly now. So Summary, this shows the basic information for the client, including telephone numbers, email addresses, date of birth, that kind of thing. The Details tab shows all the information that we entered for the registration, along with the option to edit or delete any of the contents. Any deletion options do have a deletion confirmation message so that you don't delete an item by mistake. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So if I clicked on this delete button here, there's a warning that pops up and asks me if I'm sure. And if you're not sure and you don't want to delete the item, you simply click cancel. The final tab here is billing, and this will show you any completed appointments which have attracted a charge, any payments that have been made, and the current balance for that client. You can enter a default charge for each session, or you can specify the fee within each client appointment. This is covered within the guide Managing Your Finances if you'd like more information. At this point, the patient won't be appearing in your caseload on the left-hand side, as we can see. This is because they need to have a case recorded within the registration. The option to add a case can be found at the bottom of the client details. And that's this option here, Add New Case. To add a case to a patient, please see the guide Starting a New Case, and that will show you how. This concludes the guide on how to add a patient.